Hello guys, it is Danny here again, and today it's another episode of League Racing in AOR. Today I'm a little bit ill, so you may hear some different voice from me, but we are in Austria, and after I showed you my fastest lap as usual, I would like to sum up and show you the highlights from my race. Again, I will use a lot of footage from our fantastic commentators Hamish and Kodiak, who are of course linked in the description and in the comment section as well. This time unfortunately you won't be able to hear the engine sound, because as I did it with my Baku race, I deleted the raw files from my computer, but now I don't even have any backup files, so I needed to download my highlights video from my Hungarian channel that has commentary over it, so I just have to make the volume very low to not hear my Hungarian commentary. But this time many moments, as I already mentioned, will be used from the commentary box, and I think it still stays an enjoyable video. This is the last poor quality race. I promised British GP will be uploaded normally, because luckily I haven't deleted those files and I saved them to everywhere, because I don't want to make that mistake to a third time. As you can see, the weather is clean and I got the pole position. I think it was a fantastic lap from me. I left a few tenths in there, here and there, but I think it was a nice lap. And we expected a one-stop strategy because the race was clean as well. I had an average race start, but Sven was very clean and he didn't try to act like Wyatt, so I could keep the first position, which was a key moment.
Oh my goodness me, you can see that's 3 wide further down. Sven has got that lead in his sights. Formula Danny has just about managed to hang on to it. Raven and Brandon Lee swapping positions. Oh, there's position swapping all over the place. Oh my goodness me, very, very slow through turn 2. With that spinner.
It's a huge collision at the hairpin. Huge collision. About 3 or 4 drivers just span out. You've got Topo in last.
Yeah, Seagrove is in there. I think Riker Gordon was caught in there as well. Formula Danny has, I think it did lose the lead very briefly, heading into turn 3, but he's managed to get it back again. Brandon Lee's back up. Brandon Lee's up to 4th. Oh my God, there's position swapping all over the place.
Yes, sorry I interrupted. Kez just put it into the grass after getting up to like P14. He was doing pretty well, but just put it in the grass. So that is the position lost for him. We got a position for the top 10, which is Kalon inside of Fela, side by side. Those two don't want to touch, and they do a good job of not touching. Battling slightly further on, we've got nobody in Raven. I don't think nobody's going to try and move, as they've just destroyed the braking marker.
Oh, Donoso already has a 3-second time penalty. That's impressive at the end of the first lap.
That is very impressive. Brandon Lee, he's gained 2 positions off the start, so good job from him.
Ooh, that's
he's
Ram Drop getting
it nice and clean.
Ram Drop is very, very close. Kalon's just fallen another position. Look how tightly bunched they all are. Again, it being a short lap, it will take a while for the field to spread out. Yeah, that's the Haas of Isaac trying to do something about it. He's lost 2 positions. Kalon is on the soft tyres. He's gone for actually, several people outside of the top 10 have opted for the soft tyres to start with. Oh, go on.
Kalon's going around the outside of
that's Isaac.
Donoso. Oh, is it Isaac?
Yeah, Isaac's in the Donoso is in the Force India.
Oh right, I'm trying to get used to this broadcaster camera so I can see a bit more of the action. I'm commentating on the wrong car.
I knew Sven is in favor for the race win, because I knew he would attack me so hard. I knew he is faster than me, because we had done a lot of practice earlier that week and he had always been faster than me. He had been the fastest in this track, and I asked him, and it's one of his favorite tracks, so it's quite understandable, I think. As you can see, coming near to the end of the stint, I started to suffer. I started to drift away, my rear tires totally gone off, and Sven attacked me. His first chance was in lap 7, where I left an open door on the inside line, but I could defend him from the outside. And on this track, I find it very hard to follow and exit the corners properly when you are in slipstream. But Sven had about half-second pace over me in a lap, I think, that moment. He had a much better tire wear, he was faster, he didn't make any mistakes, so it's a congratulation to him.
Can't just ignore what's behind him. He's got to be careful of the move he makes. He's having a look on the inside of turn 3. This will be for the race. Can Danny swing around the outside? The move's not yet done.
I think it is. He's going to have the inside for the next
Oh,
corner.
he has got him. He's got DRS again. So, yes, that's actually enabled him to complete the move. And Danny had to defend straight away from Timp. Oh, and there's contact there. That was a minor bit of contact between the Haas and the Renault. And now Timp is right in there.
Yeah, Tim's going to have a look at Danny anytime soon as these guys are scrapping over. We've got a proper battle for the lead now. Is Danny going to be able to live with Sven's pace? You saw he came third in the esports, however that doesn't matter now. This is AOR, and Danny is second in the championship, and he's a seriously fast driver. Last time he had a bit of a drought of wins, 5 rounds without a win. He picked up one last round. Will he be able to get the double this time out in Austria? Only time will tell.
Indeed, but you saw Danny get all out of shape on that last turn. That actually caused Tim to have to get out of it a little bit as well.
After I was attacked by Tim as well, but I could defend against him. I think at that stage he was faster than me as well. Nearly everybody on the track had a better tire wear than me. I don't know, it's might because of my setup, which is perfect in time trial, and I have the world record with it. I uploaded the video from that, so you should definitely check it out if you haven't done it yet. But on the race, it makes the tire degradation harder and bigger, and my racing style doesn't have that as well. Just a few laps later we went into the pit, and as I thought, everybody in the front did set a new set of soft tires, which are the hardest compound available on this track. We came back in traffic, but from here I just would like to sum up the race from the view of the commentator box, so enjoy and see you at the end, because nothing really happened from here. To me, I kept a constant 4 seconds gap to Sven.
Danny had a little bit of clear air, and he's only 19 seconds behind. But it is
It's going to be close.
A pit stop it's going to be really close. It's going to be so close. In fact, I think Danny is going to get the race lead as Sven comes out. So Sven made a crucial strategy error.
Sorry, side by side into turn 1. Oh, as they see on nobody picks up a penalty. Oh, Fab Donaso gets very, very sideways, trying to defend from Slick. Oh, we've got a big old battle forming here. Sven actually comes out ahead of Danny, so that has paid off. Although Riker, they're all part of this big mixture here.
I mean, there's an awful lot of cars and next to each other. Is Non-Runner going to be kind to his teammates? I somehow doubt it. So let's have a look. If Sven goes on the inside, and it looks like that's very kind there by Non-Runner. I think he purposely gave him the space. So fair play. So it's now Slick is next up in the McLaren, and then he has to dispatch of his esports rival, the So Sven, wow!
Nice!
What a move!
The McLaren, the McLaren went wide at turn 5, and that just opened the door for Sven, and Sven just dived straight through. Sven already back up to 4th on the back of Fab Donaso, who I don't believe has pitted yet. He hasn't. The top 3, Ramdrop, Kalon and Fab Donaso, have not pitted. This looks like it's going to be a pretty straightforward move for the Renault. And I think Fab Donaso backs out of that one, but look at the gaggle of cars behind.
Oh! Huge crash with a Force Ninja!
Oh no!
Donaso's out of the race!
He is gone. He's... Yeah, we didn't really see. Just as the camera panned away, Fab Donaso actually was out of the shot, so we didn't quite see the incident happen. So we saw he was struggling with those sides. He was weaving around everywhere, trying to get traction, but that has cost him the race.
Behind Sven, although I think Sven's pulling away. Danny's behind Non-Runner and Slick, and he needs to get past Sven ASAP. He got past Timp last lap after a late move. Not Timp, sorry. He got past one of the drivers.
Oh dear, Riker Gordon couldn't slow down in time for the pit lane, and has got himself a speeding penalty. Formula Danny sizing up Non-Runner now. It's going to have DRS down this straight heading towards turn 3. It's going to be a pretty straightforward move for the Haas. Timp is not far behind. He's trying to size up with the same move. And there goes, big lock up then into turn 3 for the Haas, but he's got that move done. But he is about 5 seconds behind Sven, so he's going to have to hope Sven gets snarled up somewhere to try and close in for that race lead.
Yeah, he is. I mean, Sven's just being able to use his clear air to pull away now from Danny in the dirty air and traffic. He's with guys who've got old tyres on at the moment, so he should get past Slick fairly quickly. Didn't want to use a pun there. And we are going to have a look if he can pull a move. And that is a very slick move on Slick. That's wonderful.
You were waiting for that, weren't you?
I was waiting for it. And that is actually a really impressive move, especially down the inside of turn 9. And now he has to chase after Sven.
We mean you, as Segro is,
yes.
is alongside Fizzy. Oh, goodness me, I thought he was going to cut in too early. That's no ATR nobody trying to fly through on the inside of the McLaren. This is for 13th position. And there you see in the background, that's ACR Failure, not too far behind. As pretty much every car along this straight gets DRS. Red Bull jumps in front of the McLaren, goes very, very deep into turn 3. Just about manages to keep Slick, to keep Segro at bay. Topard's just lost a position to Brandon Lee. That's on the inside of turn 1. But the Mercedes is not satisfied with that. Oh, sorry, beg your pardon, that was turn 2. As they head on down to turn 3, big old lock-up for the Red Bull and the Mercedes. Brandon Lee is not having a good time here. It looks like it's going to be a pretty straightforward move for Topard, but Brandon Lee's going to have the inside for turn 6. And they hang on to that one. Sven,
So,
go on.
So, give you a quick update with the penalties to obviously button if there's any other action. We have Topard. He's got that one penalty we just saw. Kalon has a penalty. Segro has a penalty. Brandon Lee has 2 penalties. Nobody has a penalty. Ryko Gordon has a penalty. Kez has a penalty. And Isaac has a penalty. So whatever time you can see, it's plus 3 seconds. Unfortunately for Ryko Gordon, he also had a stop-go. So I'm not sure if he served that or not.
I think he would have had that for speeding the pit lane, so we didn't see his stop, so I would assume he served it at the time. As we're having a look at Tim, then sizing up Slick for that 3rd position. Doesn't quite get the rate of knots he needs. Heading down through the last 2 turns, gets a little bit wide on that final turn. Now he's going to have DRS down the start finish straight. Can he claim the McLaren to turn 1? Has a big old look, but decides against it. Now's going to be his opportunity then. Get a decent run through turn 1. Slick had a decent run as well as Topard comes into the pits again. Wonder what the Mercedes is going to do this time.
So it looks like Tim's going to have a look on the inside of the hairpin. He doesn't get any luck. Meanwhile, behind him, we've got Max and Non-Runner closing in on him. And Max and Non-Runner are so close to each other. Max is on the ultra soft tyres, so he's going to be taking a look at Non-Runner on the inside of 6, and that's a pretty solid move. So fair play, Max. Now Non-Runner's going to come back at him. No, he isn't. So Max is going to use that extra grip to hopefully try and close up to Tim and Slick.
I can't remember at what point he pitted, as we see Tim and Slick side by side. Oh, Tim taking the outside. Slick actually coming into the pits at that particular point. Slick did commit to the pit lane at the correct time. So, but of course Tim wouldn't have known that Slick was planning to come into the pits at that particular point. He was just probably fed up being stuck behind him. So Sven leads Danny by 4 seconds, who leads Tim by 4 seconds. But Tim has a big old train, has not run against himself a penalty now.
I wonder when he's going to be coming into a pits. Like we said earlier, they last about 14-15 laps.
Oh, that's Non-Runner off. Non-Runner overcooked it at the last turn. That's allowed Brandon Lee and ACR Raven. Soft to ultra soft, yes, but not just one compound.
He's done 12 laps on them, so I'd be surprised if they're not falling off at the moment. But maybe he just does have a pace. I mean, we saw in qualifying, he was very solid. He got P3, so he definitely has some good pace. And whether he can overtake Timp, we're yet to find out. He's going to have DRS now. It's a good opportunity. Keep him the slipstream, but he's not close enough, I don't think, unless he tries some audacious move down the inside, which he doesn't.
Ooh, indeed. But obviously, if he has had those tyres on for 12 laps, then they are going to be falling off the cliff pretty damn soon as they come through turn 6. Very, very close. You see Brendan Lee now getting very, very interested in this battle. He's had a pretty bad start of the race, but he's really now beginning to come into form. Oh, Max getting very wide on the penultimate corner. Now's an opportunity for the Red Bull of Brandon Lee. Oh, he nearly runs into the back of the Sauber. Non-runner comes into the pits. Side by side. Oh, my goodness me. The Red Bull's going to have to make a move. No. Not a double move. No!
He's lost it.
Oh,
Brendan's lost it. And ACR Raven has overtaken Brendan. Raven's now on the back of Max. And I think Raven's going to get positioned to turn 4. Let's see if he does. Braking late. Max brakes later.
Oh, switchback! What a
that's move.
What a beautiful move. He planned that one perfectly. But yeah, Brendan, I don't think he intended to make a double overtake there. I just honestly think that Tim slowed down a little bit quicker than Brandon was expecting. The position last week, we had just no one to talk to post race, so
yes.
that was a bit of a shame. So, well, I say no one. We had like 5 or 6 people in, but we still had we were still able to speak to quite a few people in the end. But just would have preferred to have a bit more selection from our drivers. Brandon Lee, even under DRS, was not able to get alongside nobody. So, again, we're not really sure what's going on with Brandon Lee's car, whether he's damaged or just has made a bad call on setup. I'd be surprised if it was the latter. But, I mean, he did start in 5th position, I think it was. So he may have had just a tag from someone in the early stage of the race. Under DRS, he's just got no answer at all. Nobody is streaking away from him.
Yeah, he lost a lot of traction. Sometimes, like, your setup is, like, it's suited for qualifying, not for race, and I can see he's losing a lot of rear traction, so I'm wondering if that's where he's losing all this time.
I'd be surprised if it was the red marked tyre. But yeah, Max is really falling off this battle now, so I think the best of his tyres have gone. Lovely helicam shot, actually getting all 3 of those drivers in there. It does look inevitable that the Williams is going to claim our championship leader and the earliest opportunity. And another penalty for the for the other Williams, of course.
For P3, so it's a pretty major spot for AOR. Raven has DRS. Is he going to be able to
Oops! Sorry,
move.
I just looked at Kez, who was side by side with Segro, but a little bit of wheel banging going on between or it looked like wheel banging between the Williams and the McLaren, and that sent Kez off into the gravel. No, he is now last. Now there surely is an opportunity then for the American to have a go at him. There he goes on the inside of turn 1. Can he slow it down enough? Lock up. There's still side by side. Tim very well defended there, and a decent amount of space given by Raven. That's now Tim resuming that 3rd position. Now Raven has a look on the inside of turn 3.
Oh, Max is coming to have a look as well. Sorry, I sort of interrupted there, but it wasn't quite as impressive as I thought it was. Max, how consistent has he been? He's like, his average finishing position is basically 5th.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think he's had a couple of finishes outside of that. I think it's been like 5, 6, 5, 4, 10 or something like that.
He had a P10 in Spain. That's his worst position.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's 5, 6, and 7. 7th, obviously, Baku. So 5th. Again, if he can improve on that,
it seems to be his number.
Third, obviously, but you want to be on the podium if you're not winning. And for these guys, that's going to play a huge role, especially for Raven. I mean, he's been so unlucky earlier on in the season. Now he's starting to get it together. He got that P2 in Bahrain, and he's also got that P2 in Canada. It's just he needs to go one better. 4th place last time out.
Oh, the Red Bulls are side by side. Sorry to cut you off again, Hamish.
That's okay.
Brandon did manage to nose ahead, but nobody did manage to string around the outside. They're still side by side. That broadcast camera's doing me nothing at all. Brandon Lee throws it on the inside, locks up a little bit at turn 3. Does manage to slow it down and does get that position from his teammate. Nobody was not giving him that position easily at all.
Now the outside of a Red Bull.
Oh, Brandon Lee's off again. Oh, that's going to unsettle him through that next turn, and he gets the tail out. That's not going to help him. Is nobody going to get the extra pace he needs? No, not quite. I think he's going to have to stay in that position for now.
Yeah, that's so close. Kalon almost had that position on nobody, but then Brandon made a mistake and a bunch of them all back up. Kalon's got the DRS on nobody. He got a better drive out of that final corner. Now is Kalon going to do what Brandon Lee did earlier on in the race? Braking nice and late. Oh, nobody brakes really late, and he's right onto the back of Brandon. Nobody got a poor exit. Kalon's right behind nobody as he was coming up to that first corner. I imagine they're going to stay in single file for this corner, and they all take it fairly cleanly. Brandon Lee's gone wide. Caelan's got the inside of nobody, and he hasn't been able to pull that off. Is nobody going to get a move on Brandon Lee? He's got the DRS. Is he going to look on the inside or the outside? No, he isn't.
Brandon Lee is defending for everything he's got, and nobody is not backing off. There's no multi-21 going on this time, and Caelan is right there to capitalise if it all does come to tears. It seems to be here that Brandon Lee seems to be struggling the most. We've seen him going off into that dirt patch quite a few times. Again, look how wide he's gone. That could just be preference, but it does seem very, very deep into that turn 6.
That a lot. He has been doing that a lot. We've noticed so many times. In fact, Brandon goes very wide.
Very wide, yeah.
Give nobody another opportunity. He's got the DRS. Brandon isn't quite close enough to Max. He's a couple of seconds off Max to be able to get the DRS. As he is closing in on that train, non-runner has a penalty. He's in P13, so that's not really going to affect him, to be honest. He's not doing very well anyway.
He's not having a good race today, that is certainly true. We've seen some good things from non-runner before, but today certainly not his day. Ooh, big lockup from Caelan, but he closes right in on ATR Nobody. This could force Nobody into a more defensive position and give Brandon a bit of breathing space. But what I'm quite liking is the fact that ATR Nobody is really sticking it to Brandon Lee. Yes, Brandon Lee may be the esports world champion. That's giving him absolutely no quarter at all. Good on you. You know, don't be intimidated by who the person is. Still give them a decent racing challenge. I'm glad to see that. Oh,
Caelan, another penalty. Brandon, he goes wide every time at that corner. I say wide, he's taking an alternate line, which he's obviously chosen, and for him, that obviously works best. I think we see him carry an awful lot of entry speed, which is why we often see him go wide into the gravel. Caelan's got to run on nobody. Is he going to be the last of the late breakers? For turn 1, yes he is. He's got Caelan, he's got nobody on the inside. He needs to get this drive. Nobody's got a pretty good drive as well. They're neck and neck, and I think nobody's just going to have a little bit of extra power down that straight or some slightly...
But again! How did they not hit? How did they... I mean, well driven by both Caelan and ACR Nobody then to avoid contact, and that has indeed given Brandon Lee the breathing space he needs, as ATR Nobody is now having to defend for everything he's got. There's Failer in the background as Isaac and Topar both get themselves additional penalties. You note those two down, please, Hamish, whilst you're doing your other thing. And again, a big lockup for Caelan as he nearly goes into the back of the Red Bull. But Brandon has been slow through that turn 3 and through that turn 2. Sorry, Nobody having a look on the outside. Brandon defending. Can Nobody string around the outside? Caelan's had to get out of it. They're still side by side. Brendan has not got the traction he needs. Oh my goodness me, the Red Bulls nearly coming together. ATR Nobody now having the inside for turn 5. They're still side by side. Brendan is not letting that go at all. Oh, Caelan's gone off. You were our cameraman. No, don't do that to us. The Red Bull's still side by side through the next 2 turns. Slick's got himself a penalty. Someone else got himself a penalty as well. They're still side by side now. Can Nobody? Oh, Brandon's still got the inside. Oh my God, they're not letting each other go. Now coming back onto the start-finish train. Nobody has had to slot back behind Brandon Lee. Goodness me. I say that, they're still side by side. One of you make up your mind. There we go. Brandon Lee has finally got back ahead of ACR Nobody. That was a good 2/3 of the lap. They were side by side, and Brandon Lee resumes that 6th position.
Yeah, I mean, if their lap times, their tyre life in terms of what that's looking like, it's pretty much identical. You've got Tim pitting lap 12, Raven lap 12, Max lap 12, Max lap 11, apologies, Brandon pitted lap 11, and Nobody lap 12.
There's a big old chain coming behind them as well, as we're looking at Failer with Slick right on his tail, and just ahead of him is Topar and then Ramdrop. And oh my goodness me, the race has actually gone so much I've completely missed.
Oh, wow.
And Brandon gets himself a penalty as well. That's going to be disastrous, as Sven has actually won the race without me actually realising we were on the final lap. Danny then has taken that 2nd position.
So yes, this was the race. As you can see, I finished in P2 and I was not in enthusiasm, but I was quite happy with that. But now it's the end of the video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and leave a like if you did, And comment below if you have any thoughts what I should read, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done it yet. As always, see you in the next one.